Good morning, guys. So today I want to talk to you guys about what is going on in this real estate industry. Right now, we're facing some crazy stuff. There is a lot of uncertainty in the real estate market. There's a lot of changes coming about, and today we're going to talk about what some of those changes are, how it affect you, and how you could crush it right now if you just prepare yourself. So today I'm here early. There's not a lot of noise in the office. I like it. I'm going to get a lot of stuff done. I actually already dropped two podcasts I recorded two podcasts, and now I'm doing this live video. I'm excited. I mean, right now, I think we're on the verge of something really big. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to say this is the end of the world. And there's going to be people like Warren Buffett saying that he's been waiting for a moment like this all his life. Where do you fit in? What things can we do? What things are we able to do without money? I know sometimes people are like, oh man, if I had the money, I would do things right now. If I had this, I would be all right. But you know what we all have right now? That's time. We have time that we didn't have before. And right now, with all this time that we're going to have on our hands, what are we going to do with it? Are we just going to sit back and catch up on Netflix? Or are we going to learn another language? Are we going to write that book? Or are we going to start taking some courses that we've been putting off? I know for sure I am. I'm going to be working on all those things. Everything I had on the back burner, all those things I paid for and haven't gotten to, right now is the time that I'm going to start doing those. But in the meantime, let's talk about what changes are we seeing right now in the real estate world? What things are on the horizon? What things can we be prepared for? So I've been talking to a lot of different people, and this is what I got so far. So let's start with changes in real estate itself. The real estate industry for real estate agents, for realtors, for buyers, for sellers. Let's talk about that first. So what we've been noticing is that there's been an influx of sellers not wanting to show their home. They've actually been asking to take it off of the market. And normally that would be a negative thing for a seller. It would cause more days on market for them if they wanted to take it temporarily off and then put it back on after the crisis is over. Yeah, I mean that is a thing that normally would happen. But the MLSs have actually adapted to what's going on, and they have told us that if we take these listings down, it will not count. The days that it's going to be off market will not be counted against them, which is a really big help for a lot of sellers, because you don't want to come back in late spring, early summer with 200 days on market. That's not going to look good. So at least the MLSs are helping out with that. I see, and also that a lot of open houses have been canceled, rightfully so. You know, we're all being told to be distant from each other and not spread any more germs, all those things. But how have agents been adapting to it is what's really gotten me kind of excited. The fact is that we're all going to come out of this thing better on the other end. What I mean by that is that we're going to appreciate things a little bit more, and we're also going to be learning skills that we didn't have before. For open houses, what I'm seeing is that there's agents actually right now figuring out how to use software like Zoom, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, a lot of different channels that are out there and available for us to do just that. I talked to someone the other day, one of the newest agents in our organization. She said, is there a way that we can do an open house virtually? And I said, what do you mean by a virtual open house? I'd never heard of the concept. So then we put our heads together and we said, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a Zoom link. And I just did a video on how to do this. We'll be dropping that out today. We're going to create a Zoom link, and then we're going to make it so when people want to see the home, they have to register to see the Zoom link, which means they have to put in their name, their phone number, their email address, and those things. So once they come on, they'll already be registered. They'll have all their information in, just like a traditional open house, and then we'll walk them through the house with the video, with the phone. You could download the software right to your phone, get some good audio. That way they can hear you really well, and just get yourself a nice little gimbal. Doesn't have to be an expensive one, a little stabilizer. It might cost you $100, and tour them around the house as if they were there. Make sure you have good lighting. Make sure everything is obviously where it's supposed to be. This is make pretend it's a real open house. You don't have to bake the cookies, but definitely make sure it looks nice. What you're going to do is you can schedule open house showings every hour on the hour. So you can still be in the home for 3 to 4 hours, and you can just have the tour start on the hour every hour, which would be good because then it'll create a little bit of a buzz instead of doing one-ons every 15 minutes, which might drive you crazy. So that's a really creative way of doing things now. The other concept that we've also been talking about is putting the actual virtual walkthrough, not so much the one that you have to pay a company to come out and do, but maybe just a virtual walkthrough that you could do with your phone. Something you can just go in there and record and then just leave a link to it in your showing instructions. That could be a good way for you guys to now start showing homes. So I do feel like after this is all said and done, more people are going to be open to looking at homes through video than they are now. Because obviously I don't think anyone's going to buy the home, well, especially first-time home buyers. I don't think they're going to buy the home with a virtual walkthrough, but I do think that it will at least start the conversation to putting an offer in place subject to getting into the house. And then obviously you can make arrangements for the house being empty. You can go there, get inside, homeowners aren't there, and then the homeowners come back when everyone's done. So that's a good solution for it. But now let's talk about some of the other things that we're getting. It's a scary time right now because buyers are backing out like crazy. They're backing out of deals left and right, and it's fear. Fear is now starting to consume the major population, and it's going to keep happening. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, but this is just an unfortunate time, especially for real estate agents, mortgage reps, title reps, anyone who's in the real estate business. This is going to be a scary time. And I'm also seeing that deals are not closing. They're not closing even though the buyer and the seller are willing to close. They're not closing because the title, it can't be done. What I mean by that is that in New Jersey, at least, I think New York, I've been hearing similar stories. In New Jersey, you have to do a title rundown before you close to make sure everything is good. There's no new mortgages, liens, or anything like that against the home. And you can't do that when the municipalities are closed, when the counties are closed. So that's been slowing up the process as well. Right now is an unprecedented time. We have so much pent-up demand for homes and for mortgages, and it seems like it's crazy. We can't put two and two together. We have the demand, but we don't have the ability to close, and we have low inventory, high demand, but it seems like everyone's getting scared now. So it's going to be really interesting to see where these things are going to go. Okay, now the next thing is I want to talk to you about is that hard money lenders, this is going to affect the investors, hard money lenders are changing their guidelines. They are now requiring bigger down payments. They're requiring interest payments to be paid upfront, just in case you can't make those payments later. It's going to get really ugly. I mean, right now it's going to get terrible for investors. Well, not so much. Let me take that back. It's going to get terrible for investors that need funding. For investors that are cash heavy, investors that have already sold off on a lot of properties and are sitting on the sideline with some cash, it's going to be a good time. You're not going to have as much competition. You're going to get things cheaper. But I do believe that there are going to be investors who are just going to sit tight. Even though they have the money, they're going to sit on the sideline and wait to see where this thing goes. So properties could be sitting on the market. You can see a lot of investment deals maybe just go back to the banks if they foreclose. There's going to be a lot of things that are never seen before. This is something that is not financial, so that's the scary part. It's not a financial issue. We're just dealing with a psychology issue. It's just a fear issue right now. Nobody knowing what's going to happen next. A lot of people are going to be unemployed. This is going to be insane. Recently, you might have heard that the Federal Reserve dropped their rates down to close to zero. I think it's at 0.25%. And what does that mean? Are you getting your mortgages now at almost no interest, for the next 30 years? Actually, it has taken the adverse effect. It's gone the other way. Rates have actually gone up. I've had loan officers panicking, locking in rates because it seems that there's more demand for these rates. So the demand has driven up the rates to higher levels than they were at before the Fed even took the initial plunge down to 0.25%. So this is crazy. Like people who are veterans, people who have been in the mortgage business for 30 years, 40 years, they can't even understand why these things are happening. It's like things that no one ever thought of before could have conceived, but it's here and we have to deal with it and we have to figure out a way to just make it work. Now, what's going to happen to home prices? I'd love to hear from you. Leave it in the comments below. What do you think are going to happen to home prices? Do you think home prices are going to continue to stay where they are now? Do you think they're going to increase for some crazy reason? Do you think they're going to drop? And if you think they're going to drop, how long do you think they're going to continue on a downward spiral? And where do you think they're going to level off at? Do you think they're going to be at 2009, 2010 levels? Do you think it's going to be just a little bit? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. Also want to know, how is it impacting you? Tell us your story. Do you have a deal that just didn't close? Do you have I had a friend that I spoke to yesterday. He's an investor, and he's telling me he's building something from the ground up, and the bank is giving him draws for the construction. And guess what? The bank called him and said, guess what? We're not giving you any more money. We're not giving you any more draws to do this construction job. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. Those things are going to become reality. It's going to be happening more and more often. And I wouldn't be surprised if mortgages get called. I wouldn't be surprised if credit lines get shut down. These are all things that happen when the economy is contracting, and I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. A lot of other crazy things could happen if this thing really does go into the summer. You know, what's the other thing that's affecting investors and realtors alike are that inspections aren't getting done. I have a home where I have tenants ready to move in, but we can't get a final inspection done because the inspectors are on a part-time basis right now. Because the city hall is closed down, we can't pick up a CO. Like, these things are insane. You can't make this up. All the meetings, all the networking events, everything that I had scheduled, it's all been canceled, and that's going to continue to happen. More people are reliant now on doing these meetings online and using Zoom and Google Hangouts and all these things, which is awesome. I mean, I think it's great. Thankfully, you know, we had converted our company into, or I should say, merged our company into the eXp platform not too long ago. And that has given us the ability to now work virtually and still be able to communicate very easily with our staff and our other colleagues. So that's something that I believe is going to be very, very commonplace in the near future. But right now, it just seems that everyone's scrambling, trying to figure things out. So what are we learning from this? What can we actually take away? We're learning how to become more virtual, that's for sure. And I'm not sure if that's where the industry is going to end up going after we come out of this. Are we going to be more virtual? Are we going to have meetings more online? Are we going to have group discussions and team reunions online? Is that where you think this is going to go? I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And we're also going to learn about how to stay healthy. I mean, a lot of people right now are saying, well, you know what? I should start taking care of myself. Maybe my immune system needs a revamp. Maybe I should start drinking more green juices. And maybe I should wash my hands every time I use the bathroom. Maybe I should wash my hands every time I come home, or every time I shake hands with someone. Maybe I should hand sanitize. So I do feel like this is going to create a lot of germaphobes, and rightfully so. I think we should all really start thinking about how we can prevent diseases in the future, because we don't want this to keep happening. That's 100% for sure. I know I don't. I want some predictability. I want stabilization. I want to be able to go out there and know that I'm going to be crushing it for the next few years. Okay. And lastly, what's going to be changed forever? Are we going to be less social? Are we not going to be attending networking events? Are we not going to do these things anymore like we used to? How long is it going to take before we go back to going to sporting events, nightclubs, bars, restaurants? Is it going to be where we're going to come out of this, and even though everyone's healthy, there's still going to be that stigma with not being in public places? Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think the travel is going to become more difficult? Do you think we're going to be scanned for diseases every time we travel through the airport, on buses and trains? Do you think it's going to be more intrusive? Are we going to lose some of our civil rights? I'd love to hear what my audience has to say about that, because this is going to be a first for everyone. Who knows what's going to come out on the other end? And could we see the implementation of a completely 100% virtual real estate transaction? That would be insane. That would be crazy. I'd love to hear some ideas of how that could go down. Do you feel that people are ready and capable to view a home, buy a home, do everything virtually, virtual home inspection, virtual everything, virtual appraisal, virtual closing, and no one ever meets each other in person? Do you think that's possible? I'll tell you one thing. I've purchased a lot of homes in the past without even looking at them, just as an investor. But do you think it's possible on the buyer, regular buyer, first-time home buyer, second-time home buyer? Do you think it's possible to sell a home 100% virtually? Do you think we'll ever get to that point? Is the real estate industry ready for that? It's anyone's guess. And lastly, I want to close with this. The real estate industry, the economy, all these things are going to get impacted for sure. I mean, that's something we cannot deny. But what are you going to do about it, right? I talked to you guys about this is an opportunity. It's golden. It's a golden opportunity. Don't think of it as being a victim of this circumstance. Think about it as being the opportunity of a lifetime for you. This is going to be the time where you're going to shine. You're going to come through as a leader. You're going to come through as a hero in your community. You're going to do so much to separate yourself from your competition that no one will ever forget it. So right now is the time to actually get really vocal, guys. If you have knowledge, if you have information to spread, if you've got anything that you know is of value, start giving it out now. I need you to start thinking about other people who might be affected by this more than you. See how you can help. See how you can document other people's journeys through this. This is going to be an important time for everyone. So I'd love for us to all get together as a community and really start to share how it's impacting you, how you're getting over it, and also what other people can do. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with anyone that you think will benefit from it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Don't forget, guys, leave it down below. See you next time. Bye.